everybody. Just like that, we are live. And welcome to the first live that we are running. And it is called the Recruitment Insider. And I am with Paul Callinan from Recruit Personnel, who will be running this moving forward. But today we're just going live together to see what it's all about. So welcome, Paul. How are you doing?
I'm well, Katrina. Thank you.
That's good. Paul is the General Manager at Recruit Personnel and has been in the game for over 20 years. He's had 20 years experience helping businesses find the perfect fit when it comes to hiring their teams. Not an easy thing to do as a business owner when you're expanding and growing, but also once you've got there, finding the right people is key to business, key to its growth and its longevity, and it's not always an easy thing to do. And there's a lot of changes as well in industry with laws, COVID, dare we say it, industries, government, all sorts of influencing factors come into it. And Paul's had over, as I say, 20 years experience navigating this space. So today, or what we thought we would do over the coming weeks, is just spend a short amount of time unpacking some of the key areas that you as a business owner may be looking at when it comes to recruiting and why it's a good idea to bring some people in that know what they're talking about. Sounds like a good idea, doesn't it, Paul?
It's very helpful for any businesses to be able to find those right people with the right skills. Absolutely essential.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about challenges in recruiting today. That's one of our topics that we thought we might use to unpack this. And by all means, guys, if you are watching this and there's some things that you would like us to talk about, drop it in the comment below. But today's all about the challenges in recruiting. So, Paul, what do you think? What have we got on all the millions of challenges that there are when recruiting?
Yeah, I think one of the key ones is around finding that right candidate. So it's been a unique market over the last, let's say, 24 odd months post-COVID, where we went through a period where there was a genuine labour shortage. And that had massive effects across business. They were unable to find let alone the skilled employees they're after. We were really struggling for labour generally. Now, that period has eased. And in 2023, we saw a real period where employers started to feel the need to employ on a permanent basis. And there was massive growth in that permanent employment sector. And invariably, when there's massive growth in one type of employment over another, sometimes hiring decisions get made, which aren't exactly what you're not necessarily haven't picked up that ideal candidate. And so you can find that you've hired for sometimes the wrong reasons, and you've got caught with an employee base that's probably not exactly what you're looking for. So that's been something that was quite unique to 2023, where we saw a real change, a decrease in the casualisation labour hire of the workforce, and an increase in the permanent workforce, which of course is a fantastic result.
So much to ask you. So much to ask you around that. So why push towards the permanent? Because we couldn't get anyone?
Yeah, I think it became a case of certainly our employers that we were dealing with were concerned about missing out and not being able to attract the talent. And they wanted to really try and stymie that great employment move that was happening, where there was a lot of people moving around and jumping at new opportunities. And so they were looking to lock people in and offer attractive salaries and great conditions around the way that they engaged new employees, and to have them settled into their workforce as part of a permanent staff, rather than contractors and casuals, which had obviously been very popular pre that COVID period.
Talk to me about how to find the right people. Like, that's what you do for your clients. How does one go about even starting to find the right people for their business? What are they looking for?
Yeah, I think it really starts fundamentally at the beginning. So it starts with having a very clear outline of what you want. So what skills are you looking for? What attributes are you after? What experience will the person bring to the table? And then getting that into a position description and an outline, so that when you go to advertise, you've got a really clear message that you're pushing out there. Because fundamentally, when you're trying to attract talent, you need to have a clear message and a great offer. So it's getting those things right, and that really does make a difference. So getting the building blocks set is fundamentally important when you're going to hire a new employee.
How often would you come across a client or a business owner, more so a business owner, or somebody that you're speaking with that doesn't have that in place? And this is speaking from experience. I'm guilty of this. It's
common. It's more common than we'd like to think.
Yeah.
So it really does happen where people are reactive. They have a project which is failing or under pressure. They've got a deadline approaching. They've had an employee just leave unexpectedly. And so they'll hit the market, and often they'll be very reactionary in hitting that market. And sometimes that can result in a quick hire, and those quick hires can sometimes end up not being the ideal candidate, because you haven't gone through a full process, starting at the very beginning and setting that groundwork that I talked about in terms of having a clear position description and a clear offer and giving yourself that chance to attract the best available candidates.
It's also to understand how one candidate or one role supports the other roles in the company, isn't it? Besides, for want of a better word, instead of having the org chart, but it's really understanding how a hire here can influence, your other team members and what that role wants to do, right?
Yeah, it is. And people get, I think we've changed a lot in our expectations of both employees, but employees' expectations of employers has also changed significantly. That whole, so it's being able to get teamwork in place. But in saying that, it's about doing it in a way that brings people cohesively into your organization. So, and that starts from the point of hire. Once you have hired, you then have to make sure you've got a really great system to go through and induct and onboard people. And obviously, we've missed all that middle part of the recruiting. But if you get the base right, and then you get the onboarding and the induction part of this right, and you have a good mentoring system in your business, you'll give yourself that best chance of not only finding the right talent, but once you get them into the business, retaining them.
All right, let's step it back very quickly then to the recruiting process. What is a very simple step-by-step process that people would be looking to do?
Yeah, well, of course, advertising is a really standard part for most organisations. They'll tend to whack an ad on you commonly seek and hope for the best in terms of a candidate response. So you're working through that process. You're receiving candidates. Our encouragement to clients is to move quickly through the process. So don't wait for an application close date. You'll be talking to candidates immediately that they're starting to come in, start to screen through those applications, set up initial phone interviews, work out what talent pool you've got to work with. And once you've done that, then progress people through to a formal interview.
That's why we have you. That's literally why we would get that outsourced, because that's time, isn't it? So you not only do you have the gap that you need to fill in your workplace that you're trying to manage, for instance, if it's a gap or it's a new hire, so you're trying to manage that workload, then you've got to create the position description, put the ads out, sift through the applications to make sure that they're strong enough for you, hold the interviews, and still do all the other things.
That's right. I mean, and that's a really fundamental part that any professional recruiter, whether it's us or anybody else, will bring to the table. They bring that skill set where they have access not only to advertise candidates who are looking now, so active job seekers, but they also have a pool of passive candidates. They have a database. Our database has 50 odd thousand candidates sitting in there. But we also have access to other tools where we can try and tease out those passive candidates in the market, because they're the ones who could very well be your next great hire. So it's having access. And that's why I always talk to my clients, particularly about hiring the best available. So everyone wants the best, but sometimes you can't, or you won't get the very best in their occupation, for a whole range of reasons, But what you do want to find is you want to find the best available for your role and your business and your opportunity at that point in time.
That's a crucial differentiation. So rather than getting the best, just get the best that's going at the moment. And that's
Yeah,
not,
that's right.
that's not a bad thing. It's actually okay.
Well, I think it's just an honest approach to it.
Yeah.
Where we're being really clear and we're saying to clients, it's a moving market. It's a moving target. And new people become available every day for all sorts of different reasons. And so you're looking for who's the best available right then and there. It's a bit like a balance sheet approach to it, where you're looking at it at that particular point in time. You're not looking at a P&L longer version.
That's fascinating to look at it like that. Okay. All right, Paul. That's it for today. We've had a great chat. A couple of things I just wanted to make note of is you are positioned or based in the Hunter Valley area, Newcastle region. You do a lot of recruitment in that space. There's a lot of different sectors in there that are strong or have different sorts of conversations. And again, we can unpack those over the coming weeks, but you also recruit a little bit wider than that. So if people are looking to work with you, what industries are you working in that you can help them in?
Yeah, for sure. We work across manufacturing, construction, professional services, that community services space. We are a generalist recruiter and we work across a broad range of sectors, and we're offering both permanent recruitment and labour hire solutions for our clients.
So guys, if that's you, if you are in those sectors and looking for some help to get your next brilliant team member in, give Paul and the team a call, drop a comment below here or get into the DMs and we'll be able to chat with you there. But that's it from the Recruitment Insider and Paul this week. Thanks so much, Paul, for the first one. Well done.
Thanks, Katrina. It's been great. I've enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
All right, team. See you next week. Same time, same place.
Goodbye, everyone.
Paul, you just need to turn off the live button because he's driving the show.